Did you wake up with a heavy heart? Does the mind seem to not switch off, even when everything around you is silent? Have you ever felt that tightness in your chest that arrives without warning, as if something is out of place, but you don't even know exactly what? If you're feeling this right now, stop everything and stay with me until the end, because what you're going to hear here could completely change the way your day starts. This message is for you who is fighting anxiety, looking for a way out, an answer, a peace that seems impossible to achieve. And I want to show you that this peace exists, and it is much closer than you imagine. We often carry the weight of the world on our shoulders when we wake up. Racing thoughts, worries that seem to have no end, a constant feeling of urgency mixed with fear. Anxiety steals our focus, our energy, and most importantly, our faith. And that's exactly why today I want to take you down a different path, a path where you don't have to fight alone, where, instead of trying to control everything, you learn to surrender, trust, breathe. A path guided by a powerful prayer, inspired by Psalm 27, a psalm that has spanned centuries, bringing comfort, courage, and light to those in darkness. Have you ever been through this? That moment when everything seems to be falling apart on the inside, but on the outside, you have to pretend that everything is fine. When you smiled with your face, but screamed for help in silence. Anxiety is often a request from our body for the soul to be heard again. It's a sign that something inside us needs to be welcomed, calmed, and that's where the power of prayer comes in. Because when you talk to God, you are no longer alone in this internal battle. He hears every word, even the ones you can't say. Psalm 27 begins with a declaration of strength and confidence. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Of whom shall I be afraid? These words are not just a pretty verse. They are an anchor, a reminder that even when everything seems out of control, there is a refuge. And it is this refuge that we will access now. Because when the soul connects with faith, fear loses strength, anxiety dissolves, and peace begins to occupy the space that was previously anguish. What you discover now may surprise you. This is not just a prayer. It's a time of reconnection, a spiritual practice that can calm your mind in just a few minutes, restore your heart, and return the lightness you thought you had lost. And even if you think you've tried everything, take a deep breath, because maybe that's exactly what you were missing. Are you ready to surrender to this moment with faith? Because what comes next is not just content. It's an experience, a sacred pause. And as you listen, something inside you may begin to change. And as you listen, something inside you may begin to change. Because when we allow ourselves to pause and connect with something greater, it's not just the body that relaxes, it's the soul that finds itself again. And perhaps right now, you are feeling a subtle relief, as if that pressure that seemed unbearable is beginning to dissolve. This is no coincidence. It's an answer. It's presence. It is God showing you that you are not alone. If this topic makes sense to you, leave here in the comments what has touched you most so far. It can be a word, a sensation, or even an outburst. Here is a safe, welcoming space where your every comment helps not only you to express yourself, but also other people who are experiencing the same pain. Sometimes a simple phrase shared here can turn on the light in the hearts of those who are already on the verge of giving up. And if this message somehow brought peace to your day, I invite you to like this video. It may seem like something small, but when you do this, YouTube understands that this content is important and starts delivering it to more people who are also in need of this relief, this prayer, this strength. And if you feel like you want to continue receiving content like this, which speaks to your soul and offers a refuge on difficult days, take advantage and subscribe to the channel here. Because this space was created for exactly that, to be a place of faith, hope, and healing. Your presence here strengthens this community and helps us spread this message further and further. Now breathe once again and prepare yourself, because what we are going to experience next will take you even deeper into this encounter with peace. Anxiety has this silent way of invading our days. Sometimes it all starts with a simple worry that grows too quickly. Other times, it appears without warning, in the middle of nowhere, like a wave that comes and takes over the entire body. Your heart races, your breathing becomes short, and a strange feeling settles in your chest as if something is wrong, but you don't know exactly what. And that's when many try to hide, disguise, follow the routine as if everything were normal. But inside, chaos is installed. It's like living on constant alert, as if something bad is going to happen at any moment. And even without a clear reason, fear sets in, steals peace, and paralyzes our steps. This restlessness that seems to have no end can turn the days into silent battles. Sleeping becomes a challenge. Working requires double effort. And even the little things, like leaving the house or talking to someone, become bigger obstacles than they should be. The mind repeats scenarios, creates problems that haven't even happened yet, and makes you live trapped in a cycle of tension and exhaustion. It's tiring to live trying to control everything, when what you need most is to learn to trust. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because behind anxiety, there are hidden truths that are rarely said out loud. Things that no one sees, but that directly affect the way you see yourself, how you feel about the world around you. Sometimes anxiety isn't just fear of the future. She is the reflection of everything you carried in silence for too long. Expectations that were not met, the decisions you had to make alone, the wounds you had to hide, and the hardest part, the feeling that no one really understands what you are feeling. But there is a powerful revelation here. Anxiety, as painful as it is, can also be a calling, a sign that the time has come to stop, look inside, and start a new journey. A journey of transformation, where you learn that you don't have to face everything alone, that there is a place where you can take a deep breath, let go of fear, and find your strength again. And this place begins within your faith, your silence, your conversation with God. Comment there. I'm on this journey too. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because when we talk about prayer, we are not just talking about words thrown in the wind, but about something much more powerful. Prayer has the impact of a key one that opens the door between what we feel and what we need to receive. While anxiety makes everything confusing and accelerated, prayer does the opposite. It slows down, calms the heart, organizes thoughts, pulls us back to the center. It is as if, for a few moments, the soul found a safe shelter in the midst of the storm. And this shelter is not imaginary, it is real, and it is called presence. There is something very strong that almost no one talks about. Prayer changes our internal chemistry. It affects our nervous system, slows down the pace of the mind, and takes us out of survival mode. But more than that, it changes our mentality. Because when you talk to God, you don't talk to yourself. There is an answer, even if silent. There is a movement happening behind the scenes in your life, even if your eyes can't see it yet. And this is what transforms the invisible. Anxiety tries to trap you in fear, in what if, in control. Prayer invites you to trust, to let go, to surrender. And when you let go, you breathe. When you surrender, you free yourself. It is at this moment that the true transformation begins. Because something changes, even if it's inside, and you feel it. It's subtle, but it's profound. It's not magic, it's faith and action. It's an internal decision not to carry everything alone. The most beautiful thing about prayer is that it does not demand perfection. You don't need to have the right words or pretend to be okay. Just be honest. Just be present. Because God does not listen to speeches. He listens to the heart. And it is in this encounter between what you feel and what He knows that peace begins to form. Comment there. That makes sense to me. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, Because when we open up to pray, one of the most transformative ways of doing so is using words that have spanned centuries, words that have sustained afflicted hearts in moments of pure despair. And few of them have as much impact as those in Psalm 27. It's not just a biblical text, it's a true emotional and spiritual shield. It's as if each sentence was placed there, word by word, to rescue those who no longer knew where to find strength. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Of whom shall I be afraid? It is more than poetry. It's courage in the form of a declaration. It is a mentality choice that, even in the midst of chaos, decides to trust. This psalm does not try to hide the existence of fear. On the contrary, he speaks to those who have truly felt fear, with those who have already been face to face with what paralyzes. But he also shows us the way to overcome this trust. Not an empty confidence, like it's going to work out just because, but a confidence anchored in something much bigger, in a presence that doesn't abandon, even when everything seems dark. And that changes everything. Because it's no longer about fighting alone, but about knowing that there is a God who walks with you, even in the quietest hours. There is a hid truth here that few people realize. Sometimes fear is just a reminder that you need to reconnect. Fear comes when we forget who is next to us, when we look too much at the problem and forget the promise. And Psalm 27 is exactly that reminder. It realigns us, calls us back to the center. It reminds us that there is a refuge that does not fail, even when our faith wavers. Because it's not about being strong all the time, it's about knowing where to take shelter when strength is no longer enough. Therefore, when you repeat these words, do not do it just out of custom or religiosity. Do as someone rises from within, like someone who makes a decision to stop running from fear and start facing it with confidence. Because there is power in every verse of this psalm. Power to change your energy, your perception, your journey. Comment there. My trust is in God. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because understanding the power of Psalm 27 is just the beginning. What really transforms is knowing how to use it on a daily basis, especially in those moments when anxiety tries to dominate everything. This psalm was not meant to be stored on a page in the Bible, but to be lived, repeated, absorbed like a shield of words that you activate when you need it most. And it doesn't have to be anything complex. It does not require ritual or perfection. All you need is you and a sincere desire to reconnect. You can use this psalm when you wake up, before you even get out of bed, when you still feel that pressure in your chest and you already know that the day is not going to be easy. You can use it before bed, when your mind is tired, but it insists on creating scenarios, problems and fears that don't let you rest. You can repeat it silently in the middle of a crisis, when the world outside seems normal, but inside everything is messed up. The strength is in repetition with intention. Every time you declare, "The Lord is my light and my salvation," you remind your mind who is in control. And when this truth starts to become familiar, anxiety loses ground. This practice creates something that many ignore, a new mindset. Little by little, you stop reacting to the chaos and start choosing conscious responses. You develop a kind of spiritual protection that accompanies you anywhere. It's like carrying a shelter inside you, and that is priceless. It's the difference between sinking into thoughts and finding a point of balance in the midst of the whirlwind. It's you making an internal decision not to give in to the storm, but to go through it with faith. And the best part is that no one needs to see it. It can be mentally, in the silence of your room, or even in the middle of traffic with your breathing accelerated. It doesn't matter where or how. What matters is that you are present. May you be whole in this small gesture of delivery, because that is where transformation lives. Prayer, when done with truth, becomes a bridge between despair and peace. Comment there. This is the prayer that strengthens me. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, Because there is a huge difference between simply repeating words and declaring something with faith. We hear many phrases every day, advice, promises, even thoughts that come and go without much impact. But when it comes to God's words, the effect is different. There is a silent force that enters the heart and changes everything from the inside out. It's not about understanding every detail nor feeling something extraordinary right away. It's about trust. It's about repeating truthfully with your whole heart, even if your voice is choked. Because there are times when what sustains you is not what you feel, but what you choose to declare, even in the midst of chaos. The right words said at the right time have the power to turn a key inside you. And when those words come from faith, they touch a place that fear cannot reach. The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I fear? When you repeat this, you are not just quoting a verse. You are telling yourself that your strength does not come from logic, nor from circumstances, but from something that cannot be shaken. This changes the way you deal with battles outside and especially storms inside. There is a hidden truth that few realize. Anxiety often grows in the space where silence settles. When the mind becomes loose, without direction, it begins to feed fear, insecurity, what if. But when you fill that space with statements of faith, you reset the internal landscape. And this is why Psalm 27 is so powerful. He does not deny the existence of danger, but teaches how to face it with the right attitude, a posture that comes from confidence, not human strength. And that makes all the difference. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to force feelings. You just need to trust the process. Because true transformation begins when you choose to speak with faith, even way everything seems contrary. And at these times, it's as if the words are preparing a path back to yourself, to your peace, to your essence. Comment there. I choose to trust, even if I don't understand everything. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because after everything we've said, the time has come to make this faith practical, to transform these words into something lived, felt, declared with intention. Prayer does not need to be long nor perfect. What she needs is to be sincere. So now, take a deep breath. If you can, close your eyes and just allow yourself to enter this moment as if it were just you and God. Nothing else matters now. Lord, you are my light when everything seems dark. You are my salvation when fear tries to take over my heart. Even though I am surrounded by thoughts that weaken me, I choose to trust you. When the voices of doubt try to overwhelm me, I declare that your truth is greater. Even though I walk uncertain paths, I am not alone. You are with me. You support me. You guard me. My heart sometimes falters, but still I turn to you, and I repeat in faith, the Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I fear? Nothing, sir. Because when I am in you, there is no room for despair. Even when panic knocks at the door, I take refuge in your presence. When the world screams hurry, I choose to listen to you in silence. When everything in me wants to give up, I remember that your grace sustains me. Father, I now give you everything that weighs me down, the worries that keep me from sleeping, the anxiety that tightens your chest, questions that still have no answer. I place everything in your hands. Teach me to rest in your time, to trust your ways. It reminds me that I don't need to control everything, because you are already taking care of me, even behind the scenes that I don't see. This prayer is my declaration. No matter what I feel now, I choose to believe, not from what I see, but from what I know. And I know that you are good. You are faithful. You are present. Even when I forget you, you never forget me. Comment there. This is my truth in prayer. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because after declaring these words with an open heart, it's time to simply feel. You don't need to make an effort or try to understand everything. Just stop, close your eyes for a moment, and allow yourself to be here whole in this moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the air coming in and out, as if each breath slowly cleanses what weighs you down. Feel your heart slowing down, your mind calming down, as if a silent presence envelopes you from within, bringing a peace that needs no explanation. It is in this type of pause that the greatest transformations occur. They are not noisy. They don't come with fireworks. They are subtle but profound. They're like that feeling of coming home after a hard day, as if suddenly, even without solving all the problems, something in you said, "Everything is fine for now, and this, for now, is enough to continue." It's now the strength to take the next step. The hidden truth that almost no one says is that peace does not appear ready-made. It is cultivated in silence, in breathing, in the decision to surrender. This instant is more than an interval. It's a turning point, a space between fear and courage, between chaos and clarity. And believe me, if you've made it this far, you're already accessing something much bigger than it. Seemed at the beginning, you may not have realized it yet, but there is something happening inside you. A new lightness, a firm presence, a hope pulsing again. And sometimes all we need is that, a safe space, a simple prayer, a moment to remember that all is not lost. The journey still continues, and you are not alone. Comment there, "I feel this peace coming." Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because this moment of pause, this silence after prayer, is not the end of anything. It could be the beginning of a transformation you never imagined possible. The anxiety that seemed so suffocating not long ago is now beginning to reveal itself from another angle. And maybe you're slowly realizing that she didn't just come to destroy you, but to show you a way. A silent invitation to reconnect with what really matters. With your faith, with its essence, with God. There is a hidden truth that we often ignore in the midst of pain. Not all discomfort is punishment. Sometimes, what seems like the end is actually a loving wake-up call from the soul. A call to return to the place of origin, to the place where peace does not depend on circumstances, but on presence. And that place is spiritual. It's intimate. It's yours. It is not outside nor far away. It's in there. Pain is not the final destination. It is the arrow that points to a new decision, a different choice, a rekindled faith. God has not abandoned you. He sees what no one sees. He understands what even explain. And even on the quietest nights, when you feel like you're fighting alone, He remains, not with empty promises, but with presence, with sustenance, with direction. Anxiety, no matter how strong it is, does not define who you are. It just reveals that you are on the move, looking for something that makes sense again. And that is exactly where the reunion with faith becomes possible. This journey is not about eliminating all fear. It's about walking despite it. It's about transforming what previously held you back into an impulse to get closer to God. Because when you recognize that you don't have to face everything with your own strength, something changes. Lightness returns, confidence grows, and what seemed like an end turns into a new beginning full of purpose. Comment there, "My pain is leading me back to faith." Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because behind every sincere prayer, there is something even more powerful than the speech itself. There is a connection, an invisible connection between hearts that, although distant, share the same pain and the same desire for peace. You are not living this alone. There are many people going through silent struggles, facing long nights, trying to keep hope alive. And when you allow yourself to open this space of faith, you not only transform yourself, but you also become a point of light for those who need to see a way out. This spiritual journey we are on here is more than words spoken hushed tones. It is an internal decision not to let anxiety steal what God is yet to do in your life. It's about community, about belonging, about finding shelter in the storm. And even if you have stumbled many times, Even if you have distanced yourself from your faith, this moment is proof that it is never too late to return. Every step you take towards your faith is a step of healing, of transformation, of restoration. So, if this prayer touched you in any way, comment here, "I trust in God, and He is my peace." This shows me that you are with me on this journey of faith. If you've made it this far, it's because something in this message spoke straight to your heart. And that already says a lot about what's happening inside you. This space we created together is now just the beginning of a lighter, more connected, truer journey. So, if this content helped you in any way, leave a like here not only because it helps the channel, but because it shows that this exchange made sense to you. If you want to continue receiving messages like this, subscribe to the channel. This way you stay close, and we continue together on this journey of faith, peace, and transformation. And if you made it to the end, write in the comments, "I'm with you until the end." It will be good to know that this word really reached you. There's a video here that complements everything we talked about today. Click and stay with me there. We still have a lot to live together.